Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Dev. I'm a medical student and a former Melbourne High student. On my channel, I'm mainly going to show you guys tips and tricks on especially how to do things faster on selective school exams. I'm also going to try and make topics a lot easier, which I feel is something that they don't do enough in schools. And on today's video, I'll be teaching you guys about index laws and how to apply them to different questions. Alright, so let's get straight into it. So, at the very beginning, what is an indice or index? It's basically just some number to the power of something. So let's say 3 to the power of 4. For those who don't know, 3 to the power of 4 is just 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 4 times. And this number here is what's known as the index. Now, indexes are relatively easy and all, but there's just a few rules that we need to know when dealing with them. So the first rule is, let's put a for any number. If you have that to some power, and you're multiplying it by the same number to a different power, what we have to do is we have to add them. So it'll be a to the power of m plus n. For example, let's say we have 2 to the power of 4 multiplied by 2 to the power of 3. It makes 2 to the power of 7, because 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay. The second rule is, if we have a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, it makes a to the power of m minus n. So let's say we have 2 to the power of 9 divided by 2 to the power of 8. It would make 2 to the power of 1, or just 2 in other words. The third rule is, if you have a to the power of m and you raise the whole thing to the power of n, it should be a to the power of m times n. For example, 2 to the power of 3, and if you raise this whole thing to the power of 4, it makes 2 to the power of 12. The fourth rule is arguably the easiest of them all. If you have any number to the power of 0, it's always 1. So let's say we have 2 to the power of 0, it's going to be 1. But even if we had, like, say, 17 to the power of 0, it's still going to be 1. Okay, the fifth rule is, if you have some number to the power of a negative, like let's say negative m, then what happens is you have to do 1 over a to the power of m. So for example, let's say we have 2 to the power of negative 3. It becomes 1 over 2 to the power of 3, which is 1 over 8. The final rule is basically, if we have a to the power of a fraction, like m over n, we have to take the nth root of a to the power of m. So for example, let's say we have 2 to the power of 3/4. This would be the fourth root of 2 cubed, or in other words, the fourth root of 8. And these are basically all of the main index laws. All of the other ones branch off this. Now, as for application, you'll have to know these for questions, but there are a lot of ways you can manipulate the index laws to use to your advantage. An example is, let's say, the third index law. Let's say you've been asked a question like 5 to the power of 4. Now, you can do this by doing, obviously, 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, but that takes too long. It's a lot quicker if we can split this into 5 to the power of 2 to the power of 2, which is then 25 squared. And then you can use the 5 squares trick to get the answer, which is just 625. For those who don't know the 5 squares trick, I'll be showing that in one of my next videos. Alright, and that's basically index laws in a nutshell. I hope that makes sense to everyone. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments or feel free to email me. I'll be dropping my email and some good websites to use down below. Please just follow me on social media. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. And please like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon.